Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. So the question I'm addressing in this video is Israel planning to invade Lebanon? And, you know, Lebanon has been very aggressive towards Israel, and I mean, really since the war in Gaza started, but especially the last week, last 2 weeks, they've really picked it up. Probably, I was about to say probably thinking that Israel wouldn't respond, but I'm not so sure they don't want Israel to respond. Generally, betting on Israel not responding is a pretty safe bet, so they may have been thinking that, but I'm not sure it was. But anyway, the reason I think that, and it's not just me, a lot of people are saying is Israel about to invade is because the USS, I don't know, that one destroyer that had been in the not the Persian Gulf, the in the Red Sea, to completely failing to protect shipping lanes that they were told to from Yemen. Yemen completely defeated the U.S., by the way, in the shipping lane in there, because it just, yeah, it was with the U.S. I mean, no disrespect to the U.S. Navy, what they were trying to do was impossible. But that main destroyer has just gone like radio silent and is going full speed towards, you know, the coastal waters of Yemen. And nobody even in the Navy is able to find out exactly what's going on. At least, I mean, publicly they're not. I'm sure that the people in charge know what's going on. So, and we know that Israel's been marshaling forces for a Lebanon invasion for a long time. Furthermore, Israel's been defeated in Gaza. There's nothing else they can do in Gaza. So you might think, well, if they're already losing in Gaza, why would they want to wage another war? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is Lebanon has gotten so aggressive that there really isn't much choice. I mean, Israel's essentially lost the northern part of its country, and Israel's small. And, you know, like it's basically the northern part of Israel is like uninhabitable now because of Lebanese attacks. And so I mean that's part of it, but the other part of it is probably because they're thinking, well, we can't win in Gaza, so let's fight a war we can win. And look, this isn't a moral comparison, okay? This is. I'm just trying to say, like, strategically, you get in these situations where, like in World War II, Germany got to a point where they realized they weren't going to be able to defeat Britain. They were not going to be able to knock the UK out of the war, at least not in any kind of reasonable time frame. But they could theoretically defeat the Soviet Union, and if they did that, then either A, Britain gives up, or B, they fight Britain with, you know, from a much better shape. Didn't work out for them, that plan, but it did make sense when you think about it. You could at least follow the logic, even if you didn't agree with it. So here, it's kind of the same thing. You understand, like, okay, well, look, they can't beat Hamas, but if they theoretically could conquer southern Lebanon, then that, you know, it kind of, you know, increases their prestige. You know, at least then they've got enough of a buffer zone to resettle the north and return some sense of normalcy to the country. Yeah, and you know, the thing is, like, because in Gaza, you know, the Hamas is able to really hide behind their human shields in a way that Lebanon can't do, because in Gaza, the Palestinians can't leave. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't you know, they can't go into Israel proper because, you know, it's all fenced off, and they can't go to Egypt because Egypt won't let them in. So you've got all those human shields just packed right in there. Whereas in Lebanon, they can, like, Israel probably feels like it can fight a proper war. You know, it can just go and win, and, you know, doesn't really have to worry about civilian casualties because the civilians are all going to leave. Furthermore, there's not really that kind of, like, the Lebanese don't have that sort of, like, international fanfare that the Palestinians do. Like I mean, yeah, because it's Israel killing them, there'll be people who will at least raise, you know, people who will complain. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares what happens to the Lebanese. Whereas Palestinians have, like, a lot of fans. So, like, on the surface, I agree, it sounds like a good plan. The problem is it involves the IDF. And the IDF loses everything. Like I said before, the IDF, if the IDF is playing a game of tic-tac-toe against a retarded 6-year-old, bet the mortgage on the retarded 6-year-old. The IDF is the worst army in world history. That's how bad they are. They have lost every war they've been in since they did have a big victory in 1967, but then lost the War of Attrition, lost the Yom Kippur War, lost the 1982 war, the first war in Lebanon, lost the first Intifada, lost the second Intifada, lost the second Lebanon war, and are currently losing to Hamas right now. So I guess they like maybe 8th time's the charm. I don't know exactly what the goal is there. So that would be like my only, like, is Israel going to invade? I mean, generally you have to assume with Israel and the IDF that they're going to do the most cowardly thing possible. So I would imagine that they don't invade. But on the other hand, you also have to think, well, they'll probably also do the stupidest thing possible, which would be to invade. So I don't know. I mean, I think that, geez, I don't know. I don't want to make a prediction. Because I don't want to do astrology to do it, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think Israel would go as far as it did in Gaza. I knew they'd lose. I didn't think that they would. I didn't think that they would actually invade, though. At first, I mean, at first I was sure they wouldn't invade. And said they did it in kind of a half-assed way. I would say that the one thing I can say for sure is if Israel invades, they will regret it. Because they will lose badly, worse than they're losing in Gaza. But because, like I said, it's the IDF. You know, the thing is now you know, when Moshiach comes and Netanyahu is gone, which can't come a day too soon, then things will be different. But right now, Netanyahu's still in charge, and like. Yeah, I understand that Netanyahu's hamstrung. He has to deal with like the completely worthless, retarded faggots who run the IDF, and so nobody could win a war with those guys. But it's like, you know what, Bibi? You're part of the same leadership cadre. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe you're not quite as bad as them in some ways, but you're definitely part of the problem. In some ways, you're the biggest part of the problem. But yeah, so right now, I don't know. I wish I could tell you guys more. I mean, I can tell you for sure that if they invade, they'll lose, that Israel will lose. But I don't know if they're going to or not. That's all for now. See you in the next.